Certainly, we all want to save money these days, but signing up for one of those store credit cards may not be the answer. Oftentimes, these cards can come with some pretty huge drawbacks. And to help us make some smart choices at the checkout, problem solver Susan Hogan joins us now with more. Always good advice that you bring us, Susan. And, you know, I have to tell you, when you're standing at the counter and you're getting that offer, it is so tempting to want to save that, 10 or 15% that they offer you right then and there.
It is. I mean, I've fallen for it. I think we all have at some point, but in many cases too, if you accept it and you're not reading the fine print, it can definitely come back to bite you later on.
Now, so when you're standing there, though, and they offer you this card, I mean, is it one of those deals that you really do have to sign on the dotted line right then and there? You don't really have time to think about these offers, do you?
Well, good question. In fact, we wanted to know the answer to that, so we asked several of the major retailers, Kohl's, TJ Maxx, Target, Walmart, Best Buy, and here's the deal. It's take it or leave it at the checkout. You don't have time to read the fine print. And that's kind of like a gotcha thing. I'm not really comfortable with that, to be honest with you. But yes, when you are asked that, when you're up there with that purchase of $150 or whatever it may be, if you want to get that 10%, they're not going to say, oh, here's the pamphlet, and you can sit and read it, and you got a line of 15 people behind you.
But that does sound a little bit suspect to some people. It kind of alarm goes off a little bit. I mean, what are we getting ourselves into when we just sign on the dotted line right there?
Well, what you're going to get yourself into are extremely high annual percentage rates. And what we also did was to look around at those particular Best Buy and the Target as well to see what those rates were. We took the time to read the fine print. And for example, on average, the APR for all of those was about 25%. Now, the fees as well. That's something that you need to look out for too. When we're talking about fees, we're talking about the penalty fees. For example, if you're late, those late payments can really whack you. In some cases, some of them will charge you $35 if you're late on a fee. Other in-store credit cards, if you're late, not only will you be charged a fee, your APR will suddenly jump. And it could jump in upwards of 5 to 10%, which is crazy.
That is high, yeah.
And also look out for this APR. If they're telling you that it's a 10% savings and that the APR is, say, 19%, is that an introductory APR?
Right.
Will that expire in 6 months to a year and then suddenly jump to 29%? You got to really, really watch out for that.
I mean, certainly a lot of these cards come with some benefits where you might get frequent, shopper points or discounts, but you really got to be careful with these, right?
You do. And here's another thing, too. If you're one of those people who wants to take the time to read the fine print, and you should, sometimes those in-store credit cards can help you out and be good rewards, have good rewards as well. So if you know you're going to be making a huge purchase, say, buying a TV or whatever, go to the store earlier, go on their website, look for the terms and agreements, the conditions, the policies, read the pamphlet. So when you go to the checkout and they ask you, would you like that 10%, say yes, because you're ready, you've already read it, and you're good to go.
You've done your homework. All right, Susan, thanks so much for the advice. And for more information on the ins and outs of these in-store credit cards, you can head to our website, foxprovidence.com.